Hi everybody, welcome to my new stitchy spot. So this is going to be a bit of a longer video because I am putting some exciting information about an unboxing for a new toy that I got from Evertote. And it's also going to be a little bit of Flosstube update about what I've been up to for the past couple of weeks. So let's jump right in. First, I'm going to show you about my new Evertote Mach 2 floor stand. And I taped this actually a couple of weeks ago. I want you to see it now as I'm finally getting a chance to sit down and video a Flosstube, and then we'll come back. So here we are. Here's the frame. Obviously, I still need to pick a pattern to put on my scroll rods. There's the beautiful piece that's going to hold up my pattern. Accessory tray for scissors and such. My comfy chair. My lamp. Now this is my little stitchy corner with all my... Well, this up here isn't really mine. That would be my husband's. He's doing something with the window. But the rest of the mess is mine. I love it. Thank you, Evertote. It's absolutely beautiful. I love the stain is slightly different from my original. It's down here, and as you can see, this is so much more orange. I think this is a regular varnish. And this one is a non-toxic. Beautiful. I'll show you once I get my scroll rods ready and pick out a pattern. So I am sitting here now in my stitchy nook, quite happy. And I guess I should rewind a little bit and do an introduction. Hi, my name is Patty. My pronouns are she, her. I am coming to you from the extreme east coast of Canada, in the province of Newfoundland and Labrador, on the island of Newfoundland, at almost the most easterly point in North America. Yes, we are a half-hour, 30-minute time difference from anywhere else in Canada, including Nova Scotia, who's our closest neighbor. On mainland Canada, our time difference is different by half an hour. I don't know if there's any other 30-minute time zone differences in the world, but we're certainly one of the few. So I guess a little bit more about me. I cross stitch. I'm multi-craftual, so I cross stitch and sew and knit and crochet and rug hook and paint and you name it. I've probably dabbled in it or continue to do it. I'm a cross stitch designer, which I absolutely love. Don't get as much time to design as I'd like, but I have 15, 13, and 11-year-old boys, and so I'm anticipating as they get older, I'll be designing a bit more. Married to my husband, Pete. have been for 27 years now, 26, 27 years. It's terrible, I can't remember. We've been together almost 30, so does it matter at that point? I don't know if it does. I guess it kind of does. So I'm here today as the Flosstube. I'm here today to talk to you mainly about cross stitching. I am going to show you a little bit of crochet. I'm still working on my, very slowly, methodically, and wonderfully working on my scrap granny stripe throw blanket. And so I'm going to talk about that as well. So first, it is February 1st. Freya, the border collie, hears me talking and she thinks I'm talking to her because who else would I be talking to? She came for a visit. And I still need to do a little video about Freya. Anyway, I'll get to it, I promise. It's just been a busy couple of weeks. Anyway, I managed to get 2 pieces of cross stitch that I had previously started in years gone by. I managed to get them finished in January, so I'm going to start there. So the stitching is finished on these pieces. They're not finished in terms of being fully finished yet. But so this first one, do I still have the pattern here? I don't. So I'm going from memory. This is Margaret Ann Rollo's. You have to check to make sure you can see this. Margaret Ann Rollo, but I've put Merry Christmas in turquoise instead of Margaret Ann Rollo's name. So that was an option in the pattern, and that's the option I chose. This is a pattern that was, I think the designers just keep stitching, but I'll check and put that down below because I may have that wrong, and I apologize if I do. This pattern was sold by Evertote. I think continues to be sold by Evertote as well in hard copy format. And I did a complete Brin and Needle conversion. So this is Brin and Needle fabric and flosses that I did. So I'll see if I can hold this up while I explain. Brin and Needle is my friend Cheryl and I. Cheryl is the floss designer behind Brin and Needle, and I am the fabric dyer. It's a little home business that we started about 1.5 years ago. And for anybody who's going to Stitch North, we will be at both weekends of Stitch North coming up in April and May. Very excited about that. So anyway, back to this piece. This is Margaret Ann Rollo. I think the last time I showed you this piece, I had said that I wasn't going to consider it finished till I got the other 2. There was a pin cushion and an ornament that went with it. Well, you know, it's my cross stitch and my rules. I decided to take a little bit of a break. I'm hoping to get back to those pieces, sorry, something in my tooth. Excuse me. I'd hoped to get back to those pieces before the end of the year, but no promises. I have this particular part is ready. I'm going to get it framed and ready for Christmas next year. I apologize for the noise in the background. Freya is playing now. So I'm very happy with that. My first finish of 2023. My second finish of 2023 that I finished at my Knitwit group. It's going to get noisy. I'm sorry. She's playing with her bone. She keeps dropping it on the ground. This piece I started in 2018 or 2019. It is from the World of Cross Stitch magazine, issue 167. That magazine came out in 2018, so I can't remember when I started this. I think it was spring-summer time frame, but again, I don't remember if I started it right away as soon as I got the magazine or if it was later. Put the last stitches in on the evening of January 31st last night when I was at my Knitwits, knit along, hand make along. Now she's underneath and is throwing the ball at me to play with her. Oh my goodness, Freya. And this piece is called Bluebell Sampler. I hope you can see that. Bluebell Sampler. It's by the Historical Sampler Company, which is a designing company out of the UK. I love it. It's done on 28 count tea and coffee dyed Monaco using DMC floss. And I love it. I think it turned out really, really nice. I'm thrilled with having a finish. And the bluebells, can you see those bluebells? They're so cute. And then the saying, Hopefully you can read that as well. I will tell you what it says because I can't read it from behind. Bluebells seemed like fairy gifts, a prize among the flowers. We don't get a whole lot of, well, we see some bluebells here, but not very many. So this is a real treat. Yeah, so my second finish of January. I think in my last video I had mentioned that I had plans for 2023 in terms of my creative pursuits, but I don't think I mentioned what those plans were, which sounds just like me. To make plans and then not tell anybody. So what I am involved in two, well, and I'm sure I'll pick up more things as the year goes on, but there's two things I'm working on, started working on in January. One I'm a bit behind on, and that's Stitch for Pride with Dee over at Dee's 20 Stitches. Oh, Dee, I'm sorry. I'll put Dee's name at the bottom of the screen as well. Regardless, Dee is bringing us through a journey of learning this year in their Stitch for Pride series. And I have been I was busy in January, so I didn't really get the chance to finish all the January prompts, but that's okay. Even Dee has said that that's okay. So I am going to get to that before I start the February prompts. And anyway, so that's part of what I'm going to be learning about this month. I'm sorry, the dog is just going nuts underneath my legs. The other cross-stitch related event that I'm involved in a very informal kind of way, is WIPGO 2023. So WIPGO is, WIP stands for work in progress, and Go is, I have no idea if the Go stands for anything. And this, you know what, it's terrible, but I can't even remember who started WIPGO. I think it's Janine. I'm going to look that up and also put that down at the bottom of the screen. Sorry, Freya's really distracting me. Regardless, I'll put that information at the bottom of the screen. So I'm involved in WIPGO 2023. I created a WIPGO board last year with, so let me tell you a little bit about the concept as I understand it about WIPGO. I believe it's 25, and again, I might be mistaken, but there's a series of numbers that you associate with projects or events. One thing that's very, which is awesome about WIPGO, is that it's your WIPGO board and it's your rules. So last year I had created a WIPGO board, and I had associated a bunch of projects with each one and was trying for these very lofty goals. And this year I can't remember who I pulled inspiration from, and I apologize because I can't remember who you are, but it was somebody within the WIPGO Facebook group. And they had paired goals, including like going for a walk 4 times during the month, or yoga 4 times during the month, or combining with knitting and sewing and quilting and cross stitching. So it wasn't, again, it's your rules, so it's your board, so and it's your rules. And so I decided 2 things. One is that I would participate in WIPGO. 2, I guess it's 3 things. 2, that I would really be gentle on myself and make my goals very, very attainable within the month, or to get finished before the end of the year. And the goal is that you block out all your blocks to have, I think it's called a blackout, when the whole board is filled in. So that's your goal. And for me, at least with my rules, it doesn't matter. Ideally, I'll finish in that month, but if I don't, that's okay. So in January, I had 2 goals. One I've met and one I have not yet met. The first goal was to finish a dark color in a project. And I was working on the Margaret Ann Rollo piece, and I finished all the dark colors, the dark red and the dark green. So I felt that, that was my goal for that WIPGO number. The second one was to fully finish a project, which I have not yet done. So the 2 numbers for February have also been called. Naturally, I can't remember what the numbers are, but I do remember what the goals are. There is one that's yoga related. So I need to check on what I've written, but I know that there's a yoga challenge for me, and it's a gentle challenge, either to do yoga 4 times during the month or so many in a week. I'm not sure how I had done that, but it's a very gentle one. And the other one is to complete 5 days, and 5 days doesn't mean 5 solid days. It means 5 periods or 5 times stitching, which could range from 30 minutes or 15 minutes even to several hours. It depends, but on a full coverage piece. I have one true full coverage piece. It is a William Morris, or a cross stitch based on a William Morris design, and it's Strawberry Thief, of the little bird holding the strawberry in their mouth. And so that is one that I've started very tentatively, and I wanted to use WIPGO as kind of a kick to get further started. Because how bad really can I mess up full coverage? I could probably mess it up, well, you know, never say never. I could probably mess it up fairly bad. But I really, really want to try on this little cross stitch here. So this little basket here, right here, I mean, that's a solid piece of cross stitching. And I love that. I love how that turned out. And I love the artistic, you know, what the artistic look, the piece of art not that my cross stitch isn't art when I'm finished. I also really like the look of a full coverage piece, and I would like to work on mine. And so this is I'm using WIPGO as kind of a push to work on that piece. So to do so, I need to, when I got my lap frame, I got some extra scroll rods. So I need to add that, attach that to one of my sets of scroll rods, and then work on that. So for the month of February, let me backtrack a second in terms of goals for 2023. If I haven't mentioned it already, and I don't think I have, because I'm very scatterbrained today, and my sweet little 1-year-old dog is not helping. And Blue is still here too, by the way. He's fine. He's just over napping. He's a little more of a silent partner today. Blue is our geriatric beagle, for anybody who's new here. Regardless, my word for the year, I've decided, is focus. And one of the things I want to focus on are finishes in 2023. So to that end, once I finished these 2 pieces, I pulled from one of my stitch toolbox. I put it in my stitch toolbox project bag from Anna. Hi, Anna. This is a piece that, again, unsure what year I started, but I really want it finished. And you'll notice a theme. Often you're going to see quite a few of me just hoping to finish Christmas pieces, my favorite time of the year. So I am working on this piece here with the reindeer. This is from the Sweet Nothings for Christmas. It's 9 cross-stitch designs by Judy Whitman, a Leisure Arts publication. So this is the book that this is from. Gorgeous patterns. Hopefully I'm leaving there long enough for you to see them. And I'm also hoping you're not getting a glare from the window. I have lots of hopes for this video. Again, this is dye on 28 count tea and coffee dyed Monaco, as per Stitching the Housewives tutorial, which you can find on YouTube. And I have a very basic start, and this is not the pattern is not huge. There isn't, so I'm just going to show you again. It's that one right there. And I have 2 completed reindeer and 1 on the way, so it's a very basic start. But it's not a huge piece. I just dropped my book. So this is my goal for February or March, is to get this one finished. And I think that's attainable, even because I do like to mix things up a little bit. Just a second, I've got to get my book. So I will be working on the full coverage piece as well. But yeah, I also want to get this one finished. And there's that. The other non-cross-stitch work in progress, I'm going to show you, actually 2 more, showing you the non-stitchy one, and then I'm going to move back to this 2 stitchy things. I've got some hull and I've got another piece I want to show you. I also wanted to show you how my granny stripe blanket is making out. So this is where it is now. Here You can see right here, so I'll move this today. This is where it was last time I saw you. So I've got a few inches crocheted, and I think it's very pretty. So it changes a little bit as I've changed, because sometimes the colors end midway through the row or something. This is going to be such a nice heavy blanket. There is no end date for that one. That one is my mindless when there's a movie on. Sometimes I can cross stitch watching a movie. If I'm listening to an audiobook or I'm doing my own thing, I can cross stitch, no problem. But if we have kind of rented a movie or we're looking at a movie as a family or something like that, I find it a little bit harder to concentrate. So then I can crochet. Let's go back to cross stitching for a second. And I'm going to show you haul first, because after that, I want to take you around and show you what I have on my new floor frame. So my haul comes from the Black Needle Society. And I had seen, if I can find the person on Instagram, I think it was, who had this, I will show you where I got the idea, because I was definitely influenced by somebody on Instagram. And the influencer, so this is from day 13. So I think the Black Needle Society probably had an advent calendar this year. And I saw this pattern, not realizing it was the Black Needle Society. I saw this pattern on somebody's feed. Again, I'll try and find that and give credit. But I saw this pattern on somebody's feed and fell in love with it and couldn't find it anywhere. So it's by Autumn Lane Stitchery, but I couldn't find, you see there at the top, but I could not find the pattern. And I don't know what brought me to the Black Needle Society one day. Wanted to have a look at what they had in their subscription boxes, and found this pattern. And this actually comes as a kit. And I've dropped something else. So within, there's the pattern. There's some, it calls for 28 count white opalescent linen. And in this cute little box are all the DMC blue flosses that you need. So that's awesome. I'm going to put all this back in here so I don't lose anything. And this was all in this day 13 envelope, which is why I think that this is probably part of an advent calendar. Really cute. And then because I was there, one pattern should not travel alone. This had also been in a subscription box. And I love bees, so I like this one. Be welcome. What does it say? Friends will always be welcome. I'd like to do that one for my front porch. I think that's really cute. So that's my very tiny haul. The other thing I'm trying to do this year, not in a formal way, but I'm trying to reduce my stash in my craft room. And that could be any kind of stash, be it yarn or not so much paper, but fabric. I want to do some quilts this year. I've got so many plans of reduction because by hook or by crook, I have to reduce. It's gotten overwhelming. So I want to use my reduction in a creative way. That's my plan. So now what I'm going to do is bring you around to show you what I have on my floor frame. You would have already seen pictures of what I have on my floor frame. This is actually one of my designs. It's the sampler that I did for Stitch North 2022. And anyway, let's take you off the tripod, show you how far I have gotten stitched since I did the unboxing a couple weeks ago. So there we go, lots done. This is kind of my setup. Sorry, it's hard for me to get far enough back. So I've got the pattern is up here on the pattern holder. I've got my thread in an unruly pile. Hi, Frey. Hello, Freya. She said, I thought I heard somebody outside. I had to go investigate. So I got an unholy mess of Roxy Flosco thread there and some orts. Here's my stand. This is what it looks like when you're, and of course a mangy ball. It's not mangy, it's just gross. You can see the beautiful wood of my beautiful new floor frame. So you may or may not remember, but the picture that I would have shown you a couple weeks ago, I think I was up here somewhere. This wasn't on this side, was hardly done at all. So I have completed the full red portion of the border. There's still yellow that needs to go in there. And if I get the chance, I'll see if I can roll it a little bit and show you the yellow. I've started on one of the two ships, and I'm going to insert a picture here of what this looks like finished, so that you can see where I'm aspiring to. Because there's two ships here, another tree, etc. So let me just unroll it a little bit so you can see more of this sampler. Okay, here we go. So you can see this is the yellow that will need to go all the way around the rest of the border. I also finished this bird. Oh, I didn't finish this bird. I still got the branch and the legs for the bird to finish here. Thought I had that done, so I'm glad I re-looked at that now. Wouldn't be the first time I thought I was finished and realized I had 6 or 7 more stitches to add. Yeah, so I still have the 2 boats, the tree, and then there's some other embellishments up here to finish. And this is a beautiful, at least I think, a beautiful quote from Robert Louis Stevenson, based on friendship, which was the theme of Stitch North 2022 and probably will be the ongoing theme for all of Stitch North get-togethers. So if you can't tell, I am beyond thrilled with this lap frame. Using it a lot. It's been in my Stitchy Nook now for a couple of weeks, loving it. Still need to do some organization, still a bit of a mess back here in terms of floss everywhere and patterns everywhere, but that's okay. Okay, well, I have got to get back to work. I'm filming this at, sounds so posh, filming. So I'm doing this video during my lunch break, and I need to get back to work. It has been great visiting with you. Sorry, it's been a couple weeks, but it's still more regular than I was doing in 2022. So maybe this word focus will help me focus on some of the things that I enjoy doing and help me prioritize them in my everyday life. So I hope you enjoy the videos, the little vlog style videos that I will add at the end of this video. And take care. I'll chat with you again in a week or so. And I hope you get some time to spend some time being creative with something, whatever it is, to make your heart happy. Take care. Bye-bye.